was, and then when you told them that it was in West Africa, then it's like they look at you like, for real? Like you really want to date somebody from a country in Africa? I talk about my husband and my story, how we got together and all that stuff, in my relocation for love Ghana video, which I will link above. And basically to be honest, back then in like 1999 or 2000, it was almost like I was dating somebody from outer space, like I was dating an alien. And I'm trying to be real about what I'm saying, y'all, for real. Just some people, when you talk to them and you tell them, hey, I'm dating a man from Ghana, first of all, they half the time didn't even know where Ghana was, and then when you told them that it was in West Africa, then it's like they look at you like, for real? Like you really want to date somebody from a country in Africa where they're running around with no clothes on and living in, you know, poverty. That's where you want to spend your time with somebody like that. Of course, I am being totally sarcastic with that statement. I didn't really look at him as somebody from an African continent. He just happened to be somebody that I was attracted to, and there you have it. I was not really stuck on where he was from. It really did not even enter my mind, but I was constantly reminded from people that I wasn't in my relationship. I had to be constantly reminded that I was with somebody from an African country, and it was just like, okay, so what is the problem? So I'm going to cover in this video just some things that I just feel like that in 2022 you should know, but I still get crazy comments, and I'm going to share a comment that I actually got on this channel from somebody when it comes to men from African countries. And it's just like, okay, enough is enough, guys. It's enough, people. Stop lumping everyone in the same pool, because they're not. So it's time to really start to separate it, because yeah, it's a little crazy. So the first thing that I want to talk about, the first thing I want to make sure is out there, is that all men from African countries are not scammers. Yeah, I had to pause there for a minute so that you could think about it, for those who thought that statement was true. Not all men from African countries are going to scam you. When I made my relocation for love video, when you have a YouTube channel, first of all, you're always going to get crazy people on your channel. You're always going to get the trolls. You're always going to get negative people. That just comes with making videos. I got a whole story from someone who commented on my channel and was talking about just all these horror stories from people that she supposedly knew. She even threw Maya Angelou in there, y'all. Maya, she had to throw Angelou's name up in there, about getting swindled and taken advantage of by these African men, and you know, they're gonna leave you, he's gonna leave you out there, and you better be warned, and you know, you don't need to be confident about going over there, because you know, you never know. Oh my gosh, he might leave you out there in the wilderness. I mean, but after responding to that long thing of foolery, it just really got me to thinking of how people still think that when you have an isolated event, an isolated situation with one man from an African country, and it could be whatever African country, in all the countries that are in Africa, somebody can have a bad experience with that one man from an African country, and all African men is going to be punished for that one man from an African country. They're not able to differentiate that this person is coming from another country versus somebody dating or married to somebody that's coming from somewhere else. There's no differentiation there. And so I had to educate her and let her know that, first of all, not every man from Africa is after anything that you have. There are men from African countries in the United States of America who are American citizens. They have a citizenship in the United States of America. They're working. They're doing their own thing. They don't want a green card from you. They don't want any of that. They're actually making a living, and they actually have papers, and they have they're citizens. There's a lot of men from African countries that are in the military, that are serving in the US military. So those men who are already American citizens don't need to have any citizenship from you. They already have it. My husband was already an American citizen when I met him in college. He had his citizenship for a while. Don't get me wrong, now there are some men that are from African countries that will try to scam you. But there's bad men everywhere. You can't take your bad experience and then think that bad experience then is going to happen to someone else. Now, I will say that you have to be smart, women. You got to be smart with who you're spending your time with and who you're getting a relationship with, who you're marrying. You have to be observant. You can't just jump into something without doing your homework, without doing your research, and not knowing the person that you're with. That's very important, because there are some people out there, whether they're from an African country or they're from a European country or they're from the Caribbean or they're from the United States of America, that are going to try to get something out of you. And you have to be the one to look at all situations and look at everything and not get caught up, because it's easy to get caught up. It really is. So it's very important that you know that not every man from the African continent is going to scam you, or is out to do you harm, or going to have you move into his country and not allowing you to go home, or not allowing you to see your family, or taking your passports away and stuff like that. Like, know who you're with. Know who you're with. Not every man from an African country is out to do bad to you. So stop lumping all of them into the same pool. The other thing is that not all men from African countries engage in polygamy or practice polygamy or is a polygamist. And polygamy is, of course, having many wives, and it is a practice that takes place in a lot of different African countries. But it's not just the African continent where you see polygamy going on. There's polygamy going on around the world. There is a show in the United States of America called Sister Wives. I don't know if it still comes on, but it was about a polygamy relationship and how they live together and all that stuff. So I don't see why everybody thinks that polygamy only exists in the African continent, because that is far from the truth. But it does bug me when people automatically assume that when you're married to a man from an African country, that you need to be aware that he might want to engage in a polygamous lifestyle just because they heard that polygamy is practiced in the African continent. I was looking at a show, the Tamron Hall show, and Tamron Hall was interviewing Portia Williams. Now, Portia Williams is currently engaged to a man from Nigeria. And in the interview, Tamron brought up that his father, and I think his grandfather, or maybe both, his grandfather, I think, was had 25 wives.
Perhaps his wife. So Simon revealed on the show that his grandfather had 25 wives. That's a lot.
It is a cultural practice that a lot of cultures in Africa practice. And in Ghana, per se, when I asked my husband about it, because his mother's father had many wives, and there are other men in his family that also had many wives. And what he explained to me is that it is not something that is frowned upon. If you want to marry many wives, it is your business, as long as you can take care of them. And there's a lot of factors that can go into a man having many wives. But I'm the only wife of my husband. His brother is married. He only has one wife. His father was only married to his mother. And so even when I go back to his village and his cousins who are married, or some of the chiefs who are married, they have one wife. So again, that goes to knowing your partner, knowing your person's family, knowing the history and all that stuff. And then of course you'll be able to know what type of lifestyle the man that you're getting involved in has been leading or will lead. So the last thing is that all men from African countries are not possessive or controlling. Some of them are they just want to know that you're okay. They're concerned, they're overprotective, but possessive and controlling just makes them seem as though they're like tyrants, or that they hoard over you and they want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it. And again, there might be some men from African countries that are that way, but not every man from African countries is going to control you or want to control you or want to possess you. It is cultural then in a lot of African countries for there to be sort of like a overprotectiveness when it comes to the women. And sometimes it may seem like it's possession, or it may seem like it's controlling, but it really is an overprotective nature. Now, again, I can't speak on everybody. You might be with somebody possessive, you might be with somebody controlling. So don't go back and be, trying to act like I'm in your relationship, because I'm not. I'm just saying that not every man from African country is possessive or is controlling. And so again, it just stems down to the person that you are with. So that's it. So not all men from African countries are the same. You really just need to deciding of who you're with and the type of man that you are with. All right, you all, I am Michele Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.